Ailment. So this morning we did get our new version update, version 17.0, introducing two pretty good quality of life updates that I think everyone is going to appreciate. The auto setup feature, making it easier for you just to build your characters quickly to take on potential easy quests. We also finally got the long-awaited multi-power up feature, and we also got some other things that I do think are worth talking about, especially regarding the upcoming 10th anniversary units. Now, if you haven't already seen the video we did post earlier today, don't worry, I won't spoil any of that in this video, but unfortunately, Caleb did actually include the new upcoming anniversary characters artwork in the game's files. So there is leaks out there. It's not even leaks, it's data mines of the upcoming 10th anniversary units. And with that, it is expected they are going to introduce new mechanics, and we're already seeing signs of that in the game. As it does stay here, they are preparing for an upcoming update, additional features that we aren't going to know much about until, again, the characters do get revealed. So I guess if you want to go completely blind and not know what this upcoming mechanic is going to be, I guess don't watch the rest of the video, but we are just speculating. We don't actually have confirmation on what this new mechanic is going to be. And again, like I already mentioned, there are signs of it in game, so you're likely going to see it just by playing the game. Regardless though, first feature that we did get added is the auto setup feature, which does include solo, co-op, and also epic raids. So the way this feature is going to work is that it is going to be in the bottom here next to your clearance history. And the idea is that you are going to make the custom team. So if we switch to team number 2, for example, I've set my characters and let's say I want to build them. But as you can see here, I have to include 9 different things, 3 accessories, 3 character links. And that in of itself can take some time, even if you have character sets saved up, for example. Like, for example, it takes around 4 buttons, 5 buttons, if anything, for me just to equip my accessories on the mined Aaroniero. Well, instead, now you can just come here, press auto setup, press OK, it loads a little bit, and then all the characters are equipped with accessories and also links. Now, it's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. The idea with this button is if you just want to quickly clear a quest, you know you can beat it. The build itself doesn't matter as long as they have something equipped to them. When you're playing harder content, like maybe epic raids, even though this feature is available in there, limit breaker, guild quests in particular, there's going to be more thought process into how you build your characters, and it's going to matter more. And the reason why I say it's not perfect is because what I'm seeing thus far is that the 3 accessories that they are putting on your character is the strong attack damage item, which is good. It then includes the 50% spiritual pressure accessory, and then for some reason, it does include a tension tie, which not always do you actually need. Now, I'm not sure what the alternatives would be if you don't have these accessories because, you know, I can't remove my accessories, for example. A fortification build would have been nice in exchange for the, you know, tension tie, for example. But I think the idea here is that technically the fortification build does give you less stamina, and maybe they just don't want to give any accessories to have any negative effects. But yeah, it does it for your whole team, which I think is actually pretty good. And in terms of the links that we are seeing here, it seems to prioritize recharge and also strong attack damage. And potentially, if it's a 14% recharge soul trait, they also get prioritized first. Aaroniero was the first built character here, and he's using all 3 at 14% recharge soul traits that also offer 18% strong attack damage. And we can also see it in the mined Aaroniero. Again, the 2 14% soul traits are put on this character. Again, similar to the accessories, it's not entirely perfect because it isn't giving you any full stam links or, you know, these really good links like Stark, for example. But again, the idea is just to speed up the process for a quest that is usually easy anyway, and I think this does the job. And I'm actually curious about this myself, right? Let's actually put a normal attack damage character in the team and see what accessories they get. That's a bit random. Okay. Maybe not the best for normal attack damage characters. I mean, this makes sense. I'm not sure why they've gone ahead and done the summer fixer. And they haven't, again, I think it is prioritizing accessories that don't give you any negative effects. And even though golden chappies are really good, they do also set your SP down to 0. So maybe that's the idea and how they potentially coded this system. So the normal attack damage characters are definitely weird. Let's put 3 more on just to see if they all get given the same accessories. Because it seems like, yeah, they aren't going to put golden chappies on, which again is fine because this build for the most part will get the job done. It will clear the quest. But again, I'm also curious now, what would happen if I didn't have the summer fixer? What would that 3rd accessory be instead? Would it actually be a golden chappie? Is this system technically nerfed if you have the summer fixer? I don't know, but I think it's good enough for what it actually is. Now, the second feature added is the multi-power up feature. more specifically for the attribute tree system. Originally, if you were doing this daily, whenever you had enough items, you would have to level up each node individually. Simple enough, now all you have to do is click on one of them and it will include all the previous nodes. So if you are someone that's been saving up all your attribute crests, now is the time to start using them. So now you can finish out an entire section with very minimum amount of button pressing. Again, this is also really good for those that do like to save their crests. I know if you're doing it daily, it's not that big of a deal because the amount of crests that we do get daily normally only allows you to level up one at a time anyway, right? And I guess that was the idea why they didn't add the multi-power up feature straight away. But I'm kind of included in this too. I like having a nice level number. So right now I'm keeping all my characters at level 390 until I can get to level 400. So for the time being, I'm saving up my attribute crests, and it is pretty nice now that I can just quickly max them out in one go. Now, this change wasn't mentioned in the news at all, but if you go to the power-up screen and use the multi-power-up ascension feature, the UI for this has actually changed. Is there a reason for it? I'm not too sure, but I think it looks a bit nicer now. So I guess that's pretty cool. Additionally, on this screen too, the way the character is presented is a tad bit different. And I don't think that's going to amount to anything, but maybe it's just worth mentioning. Now, the next change Kev have gone ahead and made is regarding the shared status immunity skill effects. So the way it did originally work is that if a character walked onto a status ailment, got afflicted by said status ailment, it would give that immunity to your team. But it would never exceed 100%. And that's important to note because status ailment plus is now a thing. To be immune to a status ailment plus effect, you need to have around 190% immunity. Let's just say 200, round it up. So in the game right now, there's no way to be immune to a status ailment plus. And to be fair, probably reasons for that, you rarely ever come across it. Status ailment plus is really only seen in arena and also break battles whenever you are going up against other players, for example. There's been some assumptions that maybe later down the line, Caleb will introduce that into PvE content, and even then, that shouldn't be much of an issue. You can just not get hit. It's very rare for you to get inflicted with a status ailment from an enemy, unless Caleb do plan to add status ailment pools on the floor that have the status plus effects. Regardless if they do or not, it looks like Caleb are already giving us a workaround with that, because any character with that particular skill now adds an additional 100% regardless of the status resistance that character has built in. So for example, if we use 9th anniversary Kenpachi as an example and scroll down, this character has weaken resistance. But let's just say in a hypothetical quest, there is something that is inflicting weakening plus. He will not be immune to weakening. It will last half the duration, but he will still be inflicted by it because it is weakening plus. Well, if I use a character that gets inflicted with weakening, it will now share an additional 100%, getting him to 210% weaken resistance, making it fully immune to weakening plus. That's the idea of how this new skill, or old skill, is now working going forward into the future. So yeah, I guess that's a pretty good change. Whether that's going to be useful or not really comes down to, the future content that we are going to get. Because right now, the only place I can see this being somewhat useful is in Arena. Or maybe a Brave Battle character is going to have this skill. But even then, this update that we did get today was scheduled to happen around 2 or so weeks ago before the end of month character even came out. And Swimsuit Lord Toto does have this skill. So I don't think this is even implying that we are going to get a new character with this particular skill. But it could always happen. It's a good skill to have regardless. With that said though, now let's talk about the upcoming 10th anniversary potential mechanics or abilities that we are going to see in Bleach Brave Souls. So they already have confirmed that we are getting a new feature. They put it into the game now because we did get a big maintenance, and the reason for that is for the upcoming 10th anniversary units, so when they are added to the game, we don't need to have a whole new app update. They can just be added with a data download, including these new features. Now, we always talk about upcoming skills and stuff like that whenever they do get data mined. But in this case, you're likely going to come across the effects of that in the game. Because if you go to your character screen right now and scroll down, there is now a new section for you to filter out your characters, including this potential new ability. But of course, Caleb don't want to say what it is just yet. But as we do know, every year for the upcoming anniversary, they always introduce some type of new mechanic or at the very least new skills. Last year we did get Killer Plus and also the EX moves. End of year we did get Status Ailment Plus, and it seems like the 10th anniversary is following that trend, introducing something new, and it's going to be something that you can sort your characters by. So I feel like this is going to be quite the big deal, to say the least, because, look at all the other options here. We have soul traits, we have skills, innate skills, link sort, transcendent, etc. If anything, this new effect might be similar to enemies defeated bonus, where it's a whole system that can really offer multiple different things, because obviously it's different enough that it isn't included in the unique attack type. EX move, gauge effect, status ailment traps, those new mechanics that other characters introduced are all under this section. It's going to be something entirely new that we've never seen before, not just a new attack. So that's what I mean when I say like it'll be more so similar to the enemies defeated bonus, where it's a whole new system that within that system potentially is going to offer maybe new skills, new ways to get damage, new abilities, etc. We really don't know. But again, we have more signs of that. So if you go in game right now and click on any character and go to the character link page and then remove all character links, or more so just the top one, but let's go and remove all of them. There is now a new ability, an EX that is specifically at the first character link. So just based on what we know right now, it seems like this new character is going to have an ability where if you potentially use them as a link, you get something different for this character, which is why this might be quite a big deal. Again, we're just speculating. We really don't know anything much about this ability besides the fact that it is something called EX. Again, we don't really know much. We are really just speculating here, but it is an EX ability that you can potentially use as a link. So could this in a way be similar to an assist skill, where if I equip this upcoming 10th anniversary unit, put it onto Aizen, when I use Aizen, will there be an additional button that will let me use the EX ability of the 10th anniversary character? That might be too crazy. It might not be that. It might not be that. But regardless, it is going to be something crazy. I don't think this is going to be just give more stats. One might first think that, right? Because that's the whole point of character links, is to give a stat or an extra soul trait. But, you know, Resurrection and even new characters already give 2 soul traits. We already have the ability to eventually go to level 30 link slots. I think the last thing we need right now is just more stats. We have plenty. So right now, personally, I'm just assuming this is a way for you to potentially get an extra EX move. Maybe give characters EX moves that don't originally have one. I think that's a bit too OP, so maybe it's not going to be that, but it could also just be a skill they give, you know? But like I said, regardless of what it is going to be, if it's anything other than just more stats, I think that's going to be actually quite exciting. And also kind of surprising too, in the way that, you know, the upcoming 10th Anna units, part 1, part 2, I'm sure are all going to have these abilities. I'm sure they're all going to be absolutely amazing gameplay-wise too, but it will be funny if new characters are designed, not to say these upcoming 10th anniversary units are going to be designed to be a link, but it would be kind of funny, right, where the big new mechanic is for them to not even be used, but instead make other characters better. I mean, I'm down for it. And if it is what I think it is going to be, you know, that could definitely spicing up character builds in a way. It would not require you to summon for new characters, but there will be quite a big difference, you know. If it is, again, what I think it is, like an EX ability that you can share to other characters, that's the assumption right now. Again, not confirmed, but let's just emphasize that heavily. You know, that in itself can be quite game-breaking because, you know, if I'm using 6th Anniversary Aizen, let's just say a normal run, Limit Breaker, Guild Quest, for example, and then you're using 6th Anniversary Aizen, the renewed version, the same character, same exact build. The only difference though is that I have that new character, and if I get a special ability, well, you know, there's gonna be quite a big difference. But depending how this does go to, you know, I'm assuming every upcoming character post-anniversary is going to have this. Likely one character a month will have this new ability. Similar to every month, we do get an EX attack, right, on one character. Depending on what they do offer, that will be quite interesting for new character builds. Maybe not every 6th Anniversary Aizen renewed version is going to be the same, because one person might have one ability equipped to this character, while another one might have something else. And again, this isn't just for Aizen, right? It's for every single character. Although I'm now also questioning what the requirement is going to be. Does the character have to be the same attribute? Most likely, and even then, you're likely going to do that anyway, because of course you want the extra stats too, and you want the extra abilities. You want them to be a good soul trait. But I assume the requirement would more so just be that it has to be the same attribute, which is something that is easy to fulfill anyway. And it also seems like it's only going to be able to be equipped for one character link, so you can't have 3 different abilities from one link, right? Only one is ever going to be able to be equipped. And I don't think your link slot level does matter. Because if we use this Ichibe, for example, and come over here, he also does have this effect already on display. And you can also see it in effect here when you go to the character sets, for example. Originally, it did look something like this. Now there's also a bottom part. So I don't think this is going to be a 4th character soul trait, but it definitely could be like double soul trait. But if anything, whatever character you have equipped at the top that is offering that potential EX ability, whatever that ability is going to be, it might be on display at the bottom telling you you're getting this extra effect. So with that said, that's basically version 17.0 in a nutshell. 2 pretty good quality of life updates. The multi-power up feature is basically as expected, and then the auto power up feature I think is good for what it is. Again, it could be better. The normal attack damage characters aren't really getting the best build if you have a summer fixer, but I think for what it is, it's fine, because usually if I ever am using this feature, it's when I'm feeling lazy and don't want to build my characters, and it's likely for a quest where any accessory or link is going to be good enough to clear fast. And I think the shared status immunity skill being upgraded like this is actually a pretty good change if I'm ever going to use that. And again, we are getting signs of the upcoming 10th anniversary and what they are potentially going to offer. Since most of us now know who the characters are, because again, Caleb added the files into the game, most of the character artwork, this is something to look forward to. What exactly is this new ability going to have? And I guess for the most part, this also explains what it might potentially be, in case you were wondering what these new icons are when you are building your characters in terms of the character link section. Let me know what you lads think this ability could be in the comments below, and I'll see you lads next time. Take care, and peace.